We have received the Queen's Award in the UK. We have received I have a question.
Question.
Yes, we have received many awards throughout the whole world. However, unfortunately in Canada, our volunteering as a charitable religious organization is extremely difficult. Extremely. That's why in actuality, we cannot do free volunteering to help our neighbors in need as we truly desire. So that's why we came here today to ask you to also look into the policies that religious charitable organizations have in our legislation so that it can also be changed, because maternal love is the love that's going to change the future of mankind. So we'd like you to look into
we like to say people kind, not necessarily mankind, because it's more inclusive.
There we go, exactly. Yes, thank you.
We can all learn from each other.
I have a suggestion. Talk about what you said on RuPaul. Trans women are dying. And you said that we, as trans women, are not like regular women. We get raped more often. We go to domestic violence more often. A trans woman was killed here a few blocks. I have been followed home.
So have I. So have I. We're the same. My point was we are the same. There's an entire show called ID Channel, a network dedicated 24 hours a day to women getting abused, murdered, sexualized, and violated. And you are too, sister.
And trans
it's
women
the
go to
same.
domestic violence, and you do nothing for them. Trans women are in men's prisons. And what have you done for them?
What have you done for women?
Lots of things.
I've done lots of things too. You don't know my life. Don't sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Enough. Get lost.
I am a woman, and trans women.
Congratulations. So am I. So am I.
This is genocide. This is the AIDS crisis all over again. And this is white, cis, feminist.
Shut up. You're so boring.
White, cis, feminist.
Don't label me, sister. Don't put your labels on me. Don't you fucking do that.
Don't worry about her.
Do not put your label on me. I don't come from your planet. Leave me alone. I do not subscribe to your rules. I do not subscribe to your language. You do not put labels on me or anybody. Step the fuck back. What I do is for the fuck. Do not put labels on me or anybody. Step the fuck back. What I do is for the fucking world, and you should be fucking grateful. So shut the fuck up. Get off my back. What have you done? Because I know what I've done. God damn it. I'm not worried. I'm fucking mad at the lies. I'm mad at the stereotypes. I'm mad that you put shit on me because I have a fucking vagina and I'm white or I'm black or I'm yellow or I'm purple. Fuck off. All of us want to say it. I just do. God.
How do you feel about men? Do you resent men?
Not at all.
What's your impression of men?
Depends on the man. I mean, I don't know. Men is just such a large group of people that, I don't know.
So what is your impression of man?
Of which one?
The ones you know. How do you see men?
I don't know. In a sexual way?
What is a man?
What is a man? Man is an identity that someone can identify as.
Man is an identity that someone can identify as? What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know how to define man other than that, really.
Did you know before now that you really didn't know what a man was?
Well, I'm not a man. How am I supposed to know what it is or what it feels like?
What is a woman?
Same thing.
What?
Woman is an identity you can identify as.
So did you know before today you didn't know what a woman was either?
I guess I didn't.
So did you know that prior to now that you did not know what a woman was?
Oh, God. I don't know. I guess I could sit and think about a definition. I don't know, because it's difficult because you want to be inclusive of trans people and non-binary people. So I can't just be like, being a woman is these primary sex characteristics or secondary sex characteristics or your chromosomes or whatever. I think it's a mix of all of those things, and it's also a mix of who you feel or what you feel like you are. So being a woman and being a man and being neither or both is different. It's such a different experience for everyone. And I am so cisgender. I've always felt like I am a woman and I want to be more womanly and like all of these things. So it's hard for me to imagine what it would feel like to not be a woman. So I'm just like, I mean, it just feels this way. I have no idea.
It's hard for you to say what a woman is because you don't want to offend the people who are confused about their or identity.
It's not that I don't want to offend them. It's that I want to include them because they
Why?
are a part. They're a part of the conversation about. Did you just say trans people are messed up?
Yeah, they're like abnormal. You know, like they've been traumatized. God. Why would you not identify what a real woman is? Because people who are confused about who they are might be offended when you might be able to help them by really identifying what a woman is and what a man is, and they may think about it and overcome their traumas.
Did you just say real woman?
Right.
So you think that there are women that aren't real women?
Yes.
Okay, like what?
A lesbian.
A lesbian's not a real
transgender.
woman?
Do you think men who take off the body parts and put on women body parts, you know, like breasts and all that, and put on dresses, are they women or are they still, are they women or are they still men?
Sorry, ask the question again?
You know how there are transgenders? Let me do this. Transgenders now, and they're confused about their identity. So you heard of Bruce Jenner, right? Mm-hmm. We all know Bruce is a man. Well, he took off the body part. Where you going?
I'm leaving.
Why are you leaving?
Because.
What?
Because what you're saying is extremely offensive and I'm not going to sit here for it.
Come and tell me why.
Nope.
You're running?
Yep.
But I thought you were open-minded. You're not open-minded?
Nope, what you're saying is hurtful and very dangerous.
But true. Are you leaving?
Yep.
I thought you were a strong woman.
If you think not standing for someone preaching hate is weak, then go for it.
Yeah, that's weakness.
Cool.
Let's take a picture together before we go.
Nope.
Let's shake hands. Well, she left. My guest put her tail between her legs and took off.
It's really, really dangerous question to say. For people to say things for content they completely ignore, and then they can be convicted for it. Basically, you don't get to decide the context of what you said. Other people don't get to. The court decides to. That's dangerous.
Yeah, on YouTube, you distributed an image, video of you in about in the space of a minute, teaching a pug dog to raise its paw in a Nazi salute. You said gas did used 23 times. What's funny about that?
The context of it is the juxtaposition of having an adorable animal react to something vulgar. That was the entire point of the joke. Have you seen the video?
Do you accept you committed a crime?
Have you seen the video?
I have.
Right, okay, so I explained the context in it, so why are you asking me again?
Well, the context is that you've been fined £800 for a crime that
you
committed.
We're talking about the context of the video. Don't try and move on.
We had in court.
Yeah, can I just ask? Why did
we had in court that you committed gross offence against a large community of people. 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust.
You just said the statement a couple of seconds ago. Why should I consider your context if you're not concerning mine?
You've broken the law. Do you regret breaking the law?
You just broke the law 2 seconds ago when you said the phrase. Remember, context matters, mate.
What you're seeing happening today, obviously we have some black people that are just shouting in the back. We have some black people that are sitting in the front quietly that are chanting USA and having a normal conversation. I love that because what I say every single time, and you may have seen me on the news, is that what is happening right now in the black community, you're going to hear it in this room first. There is an ideological civil war happening. Black people that are focused on their past and shouting about slavery, and black people that are focused on their futures, okay? That's really what it comes down to, okay? I can guarantee you what you're seeing happening is victim mentality versus victor mentality. And
That's
I promise
great, by
you,
the way.
the
I
people
love that.
here are
Isn't
going
that
to
great?
win.
I love that.
And there's no doubt in my mind. I can tell you right now who is going to be better off when we look 20 years and we look at the faces in this room. Who is going to be better off are the girls that are sitting right here and across this room because they don't have your mentality. Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents did, and it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You utilize their history, and you come in here with more emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. More emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. It's embarrassing. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans.
Because of all the things I mentioned, there is a congressional black caucus in America. We have sitting black U.S. senators, Tim Scott and Cory Booker. Blacks can vote without a poll tax. Blacks can go to every restaurant you can go to. Blacks can go to college now. There are no more segregated schools. We don't have to have the Little Rock Nine. All of these things are facts of why we have become significantly less racist. And yes, I am going to pull this card. America elected a black president twice by both the Electoral College and the popular vote. In fact, that same black candidate won southern states that used to be by law segregated. So tell me what I just said is incorrect.
So tell us.
But give us an example. Give us one.
Charlie, I would like to say something. Yeah.
Hey, but I want to get back. This guy made the claim. You got to go back to it. Yo.
Hold on. We'll do it. We'll do it in the fairness. All right. So hold on.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question? Well, I didn't hear his question.
He said Berkeley has 38,000 students, only 2.
Because black people aren't graduating high school.
Because black people are not graduating high school.
Because black people only represent 13% of the population, and they're not graduating high school. That's a bigger issue.
Because the single motherhood rate.
I can finish this. I will tell you why. I'm happy to answer the question. I just need everyone to stop cutting me off, okay? No, I would like to answer your question. You asked me a question. I would be glad to answer the question if you would let me answer the question. I'd be happy to answer it for you why black people are not graduating high school, okay? Because systematically what happened in the 1960s was Democratic President LBJ introduced the Great Society Act, and what this Great Society Act did was it took away black parents, black fathers from the family, because it incentivized on the welfare program for single mothers, which the rate has gone up 71% since the 60s, not to marry their baby father, okay? When you break down, hold on. When you break down, if you want to destroy any community, break down the family unit. The number one issue the black community is facing is government dependency and the loss of their fathers, and that's all due to Democratic policies.
Let him finish. One more point.
Bill Clinton was a Democratic president. Curiosity.
That has been debunked, my friend. That's not true.
First and foremost, Bill Clinton was a Democratic president, so.
Not true. What he's saying is completely
So you seem to be annoyed at the Democrats, basically.
Yeah, I know. So we're agreeing.
No, I mean, they just gave you a long-ass list of things that have changed.
So let me just go through. Major League Baseball, there was one black player, Jackie Robinson. Now there's plenty. The National Basketball League was a whites-only basketball league. The National Football League is now a blacks-dominated league. So just entertainment. Let's talk about music. Who are the top music artists right now? Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kanye West. So I mean, seriously, no. But let's go one final thing. Just from a basic structural law standpoint, you cannot refute the point. There were poll taxes, there were literacy tests, there was segregated schools, segregated restrooms. We have moved far past that. Black people can vote. Black people have successfully run for office. Black people can get a job. Black people by law. You're talking about before the Civil Rights Act. Tell me one thing a black person can't do that a white person can do in America. One thing. What?
I'll answer that.
That is a shockingly stupid statement.
Yeah.
Hold on, Charlie. Wait, and he just said walk down the street without getting shot by police, which is so insulting to the law enforcement and categorically incorrect, okay? In 2016, when you guys were pretending that black people were being gunned down every single day, I'm talking I'm talking. I'm answering his question. You've had enough time. I've answered his question. You had enough time. You just said black people getting shot by police, okay? First off, remember, you just said I'm responding, but you heckled. So I can say something. You made a comment. I'm responding to you saying, okay.
We will be having a Q&A portion.
I'm responding to you saying that black people can't walk down the street without getting shot by police. For simply being in there.
So
First off,
black
Starbucks
people
is
make
not
up 14% of the U.S. population, yet commit 60% of the crimes.
So what
when
you're
you commit
upset
more
with is that
crimes, you're going to get arrested.
Okay.
No, they commit more. So in New York City,
What? We commit way more crimes.
In New York City, black people make up 16% of the population, yet do 62% of the shootings, 55% of the murders, 58% of the arsons, 75% of the robberies. When you have a disproportionate amount of the population committing more crimes, you're going to get arrested.
It's just wrong. It's just
Yeah, I know
wrong.
facts might offend you, but facts don't care about your feelings.
I mean,
That's not what you're saying.
Did you just say stop throwing facts? Like, I just want to make sure I got, like, I just...
hold on.
Hold on.
Woo! This is the left. Stop throwing facts.
We need more feelings, folks.
Right. More black people were struck by lightning than shot by police officers last year, but we can keep pretending that they're being gunned down. That's 100% true.
18 people were wrongfully killed.
0.004% of black people were unarmed black men were shot by police.
No, you're...
I know you don't. I know you want us to stop throwing facts at you, but these are the facts.
So
okay?
I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to cite you the studies. You can look them up yourself, okay? By a black social psychologist from Harvard. He studied 1,000 different cities and municipalities of police brutality, police shootings, and he found that white people are twice as likely to be shot by the police versus a black person. In fact, he found that a police officer is 18.5 times more likely to be shot by a black person in line of duty than a black person is to be shot by a police officer. If you look at black people's percentage and proportion of the population, they commit a multiple amount of crimes. And I just told you all those facts. Those facts might offend those, but they shouldn't, because facts are incontrovertible. They are transcendent of whomever says them. And here's the problem, is that this idea that there's systemic racism within our culture or our society, it's patently false, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you one specific example, the Asian American community, who we discriminated against in the 1940s, who we put in internment camps. And now Asian Americans are the richest racial group in America by far. The U.S. Constitution was not written in Korean.
And I have to say, I do generally, just moving on from this dialogue, I do find it to be... Asian Americans.
Yes, they have to fill out Asian American on their form, correct.
So yes, they are counted, just to answer your question.
All right, serious question.
Serious question. The other ones were jokes.
You're the one that didn't want facts.
We didn't equate them. Hold on. Guy, wait, hold on. I have to ask you a question. Why does the chant USA make you think of racism? That's bizarre. I genuinely am asking you a question. Why would the chant United States of America, which is where we are and where we live, make you think of racism? That's a very interesting... You don't have to be a conservative to live in the USA. So,
hold on.
You're arguing that we should never say USA?
This
USA
is exactly what's wrong with our school.
USA is a microaggression now? The word USA shouldn't be used?
Let's back up here. Let the here we go. Let the good liberal jump in here and see if I can make some sense of this. First off, every nation on earth is flawed. The United States is flawed. Every nation is flawed. That's number one. To not acknowledge some of the things that both Charlie and brought up here about progress, and I don't like the word progress anymore, but progress in the truest sense, in that we have given more freedom and more equality and more opportunity to every people, regardless of faith, regardless of creed, heritage, from every nation on earth. Everyone still wants to come here to build a better life. And I bet you, I don't know you, but I would bet all three of you that your life is better probably than your parents or grandparents or whatever, however far back we got to go to get them here. Just hang on. I'll let you go. Wait. I'll let you go. But this country, because of the melting pot that we have created here, has done multiculturalism, which is now a scary word to a lot of people. We've done it better here. We have integrated more people from more. I think the highest socioeconomic group in the United States, I think, is Indian Americans from India who have brown skin, right? So this is what we have to understand, that it is not perfect. There is no doubt that it is not perfect, but it is better here than anywhere else. And my people.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
All right. You're just irrelevant. All right.
Yeah, ignore that.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
Yes.
My honky people. I just got called a reference from the Jeffersons from 1979. Yeah. All right.
Let her.
Go back to my country. I think I'm a fifth.
You were all born in USA.
I think I'm a fifth generation.
Listen to how racist this is. Okay, so just wait, guys. Just.
Did you just say to go back to our country?
All right.
Okay, so just so we're clear,
No, we love it here.
Saying that we are the racists. He's over here shouting.
This is my country.
White person, go back.
It's not my country.
I mean, it's like, well, if going out on a date with a guy makes me a slut, then that's just what I'm gonna be.
I don't think going out on a date make you a slut, but having sex with different men makes you a slut.
Well, what does it make you if you have sex with different women?
A slut maker. Men don't want sluts as wives and mothers of their children.
Who cares? You can't live your life for no man. It's not about men. Who cares about men? If I sat here and lived my life for a man, I would be miserable.
But you do understand that a man would not want a slut to be the mother of his children,
That's
right?
not true, because...
Not real men.
What is a real man, Jesse? What is a real man? You?
Yes.
I understand, and my actual statement is we have yet to obtain the original posts, and the employees' social media accounts appear to be deleted. From what we can gather online, the following is the basic rundown.
Yes. So would you not deem it relevant that the person gathering online is in the video, the person in question said, "These are my posts. Of course, these are my posts." Is that not relevant?
I suppose that it is, and I'm happy to quote you on that. Is that yes?
No, don't quote me. Quote them on it. You said you've seen the video. Quote them on it. Them saying, "Of course, those are my posts." I don't need you to quote me. This person said it. It's on camera. Is that in question? Are you disagreeing with me on that? I'm confused here.
I never said that I disagreed with you.
So then why
Please
is it
do
in
not
there?
put words in my mouth.
So then what is the issue here? Don't quote me, quote the person in question who said, "Of course, this is my post." Otherwise, it's activism, not journalism.
Excuse me?
Otherwise, it is activism, not journalism.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a journalist?
No.
Okay. What?
Do you?
Under this, sir, I do not appreciate the sarcasm.
No, do you?
Of course I am.
Okay. Well, it was not sarcastic at all. I wasn't quite sure from this conversation. I thought maybe you were an op-eds person, which is totally fine. I have no problem with someone who's an op-ed writer, who's an opinion writer. I have no problem with that if it's clearly, explicitly stated in the piece.
I understand that, going back to it, you are upset that I mentioned your height. But
No.
the entire... Excuse me?
No.
Okay. Well, could I finish, please? I understand that you have...
Grocery store chain trying to turn the tables on animal rights protesters fed up with store takeovers. KPX5's Susie Steimel tells us they are taking one group to court.
This is what the egg should look like. This is what they don't want you to see.
Animal rights activists from the group Direct Action Everywhere in Berkeley have been targeting Whole Foods for several years now. DXC alleges Whole Foods sources from farms that exercise animal cruelty. Demonstrations run the gamut, from chicken funerals to sit-ins where they bring in actual cow crates
to eat, help, to laugh, help,
to this video showing DXC interrupting a recent ribbon cutting at the Whole Foods in Silicon Valley. This week, Whole Foods fought back, and a judge sided with them, issuing a restraining order against DXC in its Berkeley store.
It's interesting that Whole Foods tries to paint us as a danger to the public when what we believe we're trying to do is actually a public good.
They're provocative on purpose. Getting arrested has become commonplace because it means media attention. This is 20-year-old Cassie King. She's one of dozens racking up a criminal record.
I have been arrested before for rescuing animals from certain death.
How many times?
Only a couple of times.
Whole Foods says DXE members have repeatedly entered our stores and property to conduct demonstrations that disrupt customers and team members by blocking access to our aisles, departments, and cash registers, interfering with our business, and putting the safety of both customers and team members at risk. The injunction comes on the cusp of a week-long protest planned at the Berkeley Whole Foods. Today, we saw organizers continuing to paint banners for the week ahead saying, despite the restraining order, they'll show up anyway.
In terms of breaking the law, we see it as establishing the right to rescue and the right to know for every customer who wants to shop at Whole Foods to actually know what's happening to these animals.
Initially, Whole Foods sought to permanently ban DXE from all of its stores statewide. The company has the option to ask the judge for that again October 26th. Meanwhile, DXE still plans to protest outside the Berkeley Whole Foods from Sunday through next Saturday. Liz.
So what's this really all about? Here to debate, Ben Shapiro, Daily Wire editor-in-chief and host of the Ben Shapiro election special right here on Fox, and Code Pink national director Ariel Gold, who was at the court today protesting. Ben, let's start with you. Your take on this. Emotional day, but were the facts advanced in order to bolster Ms. Ford's credibility?
They weren't. I mean, there was no corroborative evidence provided, not one single shred, not one single iota. That doesn't mean that Ford didn't tell a credible story. It doesn't mean that her story wasn't emotionally resonant, but it does mean that we can't simply destroy a man's life and career based on an uncorroborated allegation, no matter how much we have sympathy for the person making the allegation. And there was not one shred of supporting evidence that was brought to back her account. Kavanaugh's denials were just as sincere. They were just as emotionally affecting. And I don't see any reason to suggest, and by the way, the evidence is more on his side than it is on hers. So I don't see any reason to suggest that Kavanaugh's nomination ought to end based on what happened today.
Ariel, were you happy with the Democrats' performance? Because it didn't seem to be bolstering her factual remembrance of what happened. It seemed more like a bunch of little speeches.
Let's remember that this is a lifelong appointment. And don't we want somebody for this appointment who is squeaky clean? Somebody that we are not debating. Maybe they had a severe drinking problem to the point of blacking out. And maybe they grossly sexually assault numerous women.
So you're saying that at this point, there was more factual evidence presented today to make an uncorroborated allegation enough to destroy a man's entire future?
Well, let's first of all remember...
Would you like that if that happened to you? Or if someone came forward and said, Ariel, 30, or you're too young, but 15 years ago, Ariel actually pushed me down a staircase and no one was in the house, but she knows she did it. And I was so traumatized that I couldn't talk about it. And all you can say is, I've never even been at a party with this woman, and she can't produce anyone who was at a party with her. Wouldn't you be mad at this hearing today if you were at a similar inquisition about getting a job and people were not believing you and saying you were angry about refuting the charge? Wouldn't you be angry?
At what point in history do we begin believing women about the problems that we have in this country and in this world with sexual assault?
Women never mistake their attackers, their identities. That never happens?
Ford actually began to disclose as early as 2012.
Okay, we didn't get the notes.
Far
That's the
before.
Right, Ariel, I'm really glad you came on, but we didn't get those notes. Ben, here is a fact, though. Women are watching. Women do vote. And a lot of women have gotten really jacked up and excited about this Me Too movement because they feel like it's their time. They're heard. They're taken seriously, finally. So how do the Republicans weigh that as they proceed, regardless of whatever happens with this confirmation vote?
I think they simply have to state over and over and over again that trust but verify is still the policy with regard to allegations. A mere allegation alone is not justifying of repercussions. An allegation is not the end of the story. You can believe the woman and still recognize that you must have corroborative evidence before you destroy somebody's life. Otherwise, mere allegations are the end of the story, and that's not a world anybody wants to live in. It's fascinating to watch so many folks on the left who are deeply concerned most of the time with defendants' rights suddenly chuck that all out the window when it comes to a specific type of allegation connection with the specific type of person being alleged to have committed this particular crime.
Thank you very much. If you don't mind, after I'm finished, if Ouija or Hallie or Vivian or one of our female colleagues could go after me, that would be great. Mr. President, just to follow up on these allegations against Brett Kavanaugh.
What does he mean by that? Explain. What does that mean?
I think it would be great if a female.
What does it mean? No, what does it mean?
It would be great if a female reporter would ask you a question about this issue. So if you don't mind,
I wouldn't mind that at all. No, wouldn't mind it at all.
All right. Well, let me. If I
wouldn't make any difference to me.
All right.
Go ahead.
If I could follow up on John and John's question, why is it, Mr. President, that you always seem to side with the accused and not the accuser? You have 3 women here who are all making allegations, who are all asking that their stories be heard. And, you know, if you look at the case of Roy Moore, if you look at the case of one of your staffers, you seem to time and again side with the accused and not the accuser. Is that because of the many allegations that you've had made against you over the years?
Well, first of all, I wasn't happy with Roy Moore. Let's get that straight. But Roy Moore was a Republican candidate, and I would have rather had a Republican candidate win. I was very happy with Luther Strange, who was a terrific man from Alabama, but Luther Strange had a lot of things going against him. As far as women, whether it's a man or a woman, these are, you know, it can happen the other way. Allegations can go the other way also. You understand that. And whether it was a man or a woman, 30 years ago, 36 years ago, in fact, they don't even know how many years ago because nobody knows what the time is. That's a long time. And I could pick, as an example, hopefully I won't have to do it as a replacement, because hopefully this is going to go very well on Thursday. It's going to go very well on Monday or Saturday or Sunday or whenever they vote. But I could pick a woman, and she could have charges made from many years ago also.
But don't you understand,
and I
sir,
would
that
look at the character. No, what I have to do.
Are reluctant to come forward. You've raised doubts about these accusers. Many of them.
I don't think people are reluctant to come forward. They're going to have a chance to speak at a. They have a major chance to speak. Excuse me. They have a major chance to speak, and it will be tomorrow, I assume. We've delayed this, meaning the Republican senators, not me. The Republican senators have delayed this for weeks now. They're giving the women a major chance to speak. Now, it's possible I'll hear that and I'll say, hey, I'm changing my mind. That is possible. We want to give them a chance to speak.
You think all 3
and they're
should have
given.
the chance? All 3 should have the chance?
Well, whoever is given a chance. We've delayed it a long time, but they're going to have a big shot at speaking and making their case. And you know what? I could be persuaded also. Okay? Yes, please. Please, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to go. Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And
Thank
a couple
you.
of questions for you to follow up on some answers that I didn't quite hear from you, if you would allow me a couple of questions. First of all, do you think these women, all 3 of them, are liars? Yes or no?
Have they been what?
Are they liars?
I can't tell you. I have to watch tomorrow. I have to read. I just heard about one a little while ago. I can tell you her lawyer is a lowlife, okay? So I can't tell you whether or not they're liars until I hear them. I don't know what happened today because I've been very busy with Japan, with South Korea, with China, and about 7 other countries, as you know. And I chaired the Security Council. So I don't know about today's person that came forward. I do know about the lawyer. And you don't get much worse, bad reputation to take a look at his past. So as far as the other women are concerned, I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. You know, believe it or not, I'm going to see what's said.
So I'm Robert. I'm one of the coastal liberals, as you'd say. I've been watching you for years now, and I read your book on the arguments to fight against people like me, and I feel bad because, like, for the most part, the people who have been arguing against you aren't nearly as elegant or eloquent as they should be. But I'd just like to ask. So one of your points you very strongly make is that it's unfair for people like me to label you as like a racist or a bigot, just as like a smear tactic. But have you ever acknowledged that like maybe it's not a smear tactic, but it's based on things you've said? So like for example, like on the Israel-Palestine conflict, you called the Arabs. Yeah, you already know what I'm going to say. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to presume. Yeah. So. Like you
I've written several full columns about it.
Yeah,
I've talked about how people don't read the follow-up tweets.
I wrote a column.
I've read some of the tweets, and the tweets were just as bad. I mean, you say a lot of things that are just like racist, right? But then if I call you a racist, then you defend it by saying like I didn't read enough, right? So that's what I was going to say before.
So,
you see the
so give me okay, fine. So give me my racist tweets in context.
Okay, well.
Yeah, you came prepared. So right, go do it.
So you said that Arabs like to bomb crap and live in open sewage. This is not a difficult. You before that said Israelis like to build.
Did you okay? Now the follow-ups, because you said the follow-ups didn't make it any better.
Well, this is separate things that you said.
No. I want the
bad.
follow-ups to that one though.
Follow-ups to that specific.
Would you like me to
tweet?
get them? I'll get them for you.
If you have them, sure. But in the meantime, do you mind if while you do that?
What was that?
Do you mind if I continue while you do that?
Well, I'd like to take them one by one. So
sure.
Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we delay that one until the end while I look this up from the podium in front of 600 people?
You've also said. Okay. I'll wait. So on that particular issue, you've also said that the Arab-Palestine populace is, by and large, constitutes the most evil population on the face of the planet. Before you said that you've never brought up religion when it comes to abortion, but I don't think that you've avoided religion when it comes to the Israeli conflict, and I don't know that you can be completely unbiased in the issue, given that
Well, I can be unbiased on the subject that the Palestinians have elected 3 terrorist governments to form a unity government with the stated goal of the destruction of the state of Israel and the murder of all Jews in the area. So that I can be relatively unbiased on. As far as the idea that the Palestinian population. As far as the idea that the Palestinian population is more evil than other populations, they certainly hold more evil views than other populations by poll statistics, by how many Palestinians approve of terror attacks, by how many Palestinians voted for an actual terror group, Hamas, and another actual terror group, the Palestinian Authority, and another actual terror group, the Islamic Jihad. Okay, so I don't think that all views are equal, and I don't think that people who hold evil views are necessarily good. I mean, I'm sorry if the polls don't support the idea that everyone is equally wonderful, but everyone is not equally wonderful. Okay, I'm looking up these statements now, so if you'd like to give me a second.
But you've continued, you deny secular Zionism, and you...
Quote, okay, so here, I've got them in front of me. Okay, so I'll finish that one, then we can move. Okay, ready? There are many, many Christian and Muslim Arabs who are wonderful people, just not the ones who oppose Israel and the Israel-Arab conflict. That would be the response within the same Twitter thread. Okay, in the post Israelis versus Arabs, I wrote about Arabs who take part in the Israeli-Arab conflict, as anyone who can read knows. #dumbasses. Okay, quote, I think it has much more to do with the fact that the Palestinian leadership supported by the Palestinian population uses millions for terror. I should have been more specific. Arabs who actively seek Israel's destruction. Those would be the follow-up tweets. Does that sound like genocidal mania to you, or does it sound like I'm specifically labeling a group of people who have called for Israel's destruction?
I like to point out that you're not a racist, but they're dumbasses, and you're allowed to insult them.
Yes, because if someone calls me a racist without evidence, they are definitionally a dumbass.
What is genocide? Wait. What is genocide? Like so you said that you want to be like Churchill, right? And after the Allies, when they moved the German-speaking Polish out of Poland.
So now you're talking about a column I wrote when I was 19 years old that I morally abhorred and denounced myself. I think 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and have repeatedly said was a bad column that I wrote when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I wish I had more time. Like, do you want to get a drink sometime? Like a non-alcoholic beverage?
What was that? Say it one more time.
Do you want to get a non-alcoholic drink sometime? Because I have a lot here. I really do. I
know that you've got a book for. Let me just say this. For everything that you're going to say, I've addressed literally every one of those points. I have a column that I put out probably only a few months ago. And the literal title of it is, so here's a giant list of all the dumb stuff I've ever done. Don't worry, I'll keep updating it.
I didn't get that one in my research. I do apologize if I've misrepresented. Like, my research wasn't able to be so thorough, because it was a pretty last-minute decision to start, like, really going in trying to ask you a question.
And again, that's totally fine, and I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you asking me the questions. But if the notion is that I'm a racist before you actually read all of my responses to that.
I mean, the racist is just one part. I also like the transgender. Like, you don't believe in transgenders, and like that's not really supported by biology.
I don't know what that means. I don't believe in transgenders. I mean, transgender people exist. It's not something to believe in or not.
You've said that gender and sex are the same thing.
I said that gender and sex are linked. I've said that femininity and masculinity are linked to male and female.
Just before you said that they were...
Right, there are two genders. I don't believe there are 1,000 genders. And if I think that if you're defining gender as just a random series of societal constructs, then there aren't two genders, there are infinite numbers of genders, because everybody is a mix of feminine and masculine. So why restrict it to 70 genders? Make it 6 billion genders, since we all have our unique mix of what male and female constitute. And yes, I don't think that there can be such a thing as a male in a female's body. I don't think that there is a female in a male's body, and I find the logic to support that and the science to support that utterly lacking.
Yeah. So, you know, again, I didn't...
I'd be happy to get a non-alcoholic beverage with you and discuss it more fully.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, we're joined now from Brussels by the German Green Party MEP Barbara Lochbihler and from Kielce in Poland by Dominik Tarczynski, an MP for the right-wing ruling Law and Justice Party.
Good evening.
Mr. Tarczynski, earlier, when you think about 100 unaccompanied children, 7 pregnant women on a ship adrift in the Mediterranean while politicians argued, do you not feel a sense of shame about that?
Well, first of all, the shame should be a feeling present within the parents who are, in my opinion, I would say, unmature. They shouldn't take these children. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't put their children in the risk by violation of the regulations. So that's the first question. Why these parents are not responsible for their children and getting them into this kind of situations.
But
this
once
is
they
absolutely
are
ridiculous that now...
Okay, but once they are in that situation, don't the politicians of Europe have a moral humanitarian duty to step in?
No. No, because it's not about helping someone who is receiving very hard situation about the war. It's not about refugees, but illegal immigrants. It's a law. It's a difference between illegal immigrant and refugee. And you have to remember that if you would try to cross the border, you would be killed in England, in everywhere else. Well, you cannot cross the border only because it's 100 or 200 of you.
Okay, well, obviously we don't know how many were illegal immigrants, how many were economic migrants, and how many were asylum seekers. But let me ask Barbara Lochbihler to respond to your point there, that some people, at least, coming from the African continent are economic migrants.
Well, first I have to say, and to correct this, I think the parents who take their children with them when they migrate or they are refugees, they are very responsible and they do love their children. I think it is just outrageous that politicians can say it's a responsibility for the parents that their children are separated by a completely inhuman policy. So, and now to Europe. Of course, also at our EU borders, we had these brutal pictures of a dead child at the shores of the EU. This was a child from Syria. And so most of the people who come to Germany and do not have a visa beforehand, they come from war areas. It's Syria, it's Iraq, it's Afghanistan, it's Yemen, it is Eritrea. And for those, we have the European responsibility, our governments, and we as citizens, to protect them and to help them to make Europe accessible.
Okay, he's saying
and
take
secondly,
them all and pay for them.
Please, you are quiet now in Poland because I am speaking.
Could I just ask you, Ms. Lochbihler, first, you know, this open door policy that Angela Merkel introduced has also been her political undoing, hasn't it?
Well, first of all, I think the German Chancellor was right to help these refugees out of the misery in 2015. At that time, we in Germany, we were not prepared to have so many in a short time. Now, our structures are working. What we need is Germany within the European Union, that we have a better distribution of the refugees and migrants who are coming.
Okay, let me put that point.
We cannot leave Italy alone.
Let me put that point to Mr. Tarczynski, because let me just ask Mr. Tarczynski, how many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
And you're proud of that?
If you are asking me, if you are asking me about Muslims' illegal immigration, none, not even one, will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. we will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked
This
not
quota
about
system
illegal
failed.
immigrants, I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why our government was elected. This is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland, and we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
Ms. Lochbihler, I mean, unpalatable as it may sound, racist as it's been called, the truth is that the public is turning against mass migration.
First of all, we are spending more as our previous government. We pay and we
This is to Ms.
Lochbihler, please.
Yeah. Now I am speaking, and you respect this, please, about the truth. It is a lie. What Mr. Trump has tweeted this morning, that Germany is less secure because of the refugees. Our official statistic, also the statistic which our Minister of Interior approves, shows that we have the least amount of crimes since 25 years. And a lie is a lie. You don't have to repeat it a lot of times. And it's also not true that Germany is collapsing because of the refugees. It's also a lie. Alone in my very conservative Bavarian home country, we have more than 70,000 volunteers who are organizing to help the refugees, and they don't distinguish when they are in need, if you are of Muslim, of Hindu, or of no belief.
So how many
I'm really sorry, but we have to leave it there. I'm sorry, no one's hearing because I'm trying to. We have run out of time, but thank you both very much for joining us.
Take them all to Germany.
Let me get on to you, Steve. Do you have anything to say?
Well, I mean, look, I agree with everything you guys are saying, but I don't know why we have to keep going back to Alex Jones as a reason why he should not be censored. Because I don't want government spying. I don't want government plus corporations spying and censoring political speech. That doesn't mean that a platform can't ever kick anyone off for any reason.
But there has to be a process in place that is transparent. That is not what's happening. Right now it's happening in secret with warmongering motherfuckers like Henry Kissinger telling...
I agree with you on all of that part, okay? I mean...
So yes, you can take someone down. You have to have an adversarial judicial process.
I don't know what that means. Like a courtroom?
Yes, that's what I mean.
No.
Just like Matt Taibbi said, there's been for years... We've had a standard in this country. If someone is using their speech poorly, you go to court. But you're advocating for billionaire guys in Silicon Valley to decide this all on their own, and you run a fucking media company?
Yes, I am.
And that's what you're advocating for?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes, I'm advocating that platforms can take down certain creators.
I can't wait till DYT is taken down for being against a war.
The problem
all they have to do is say you're sowing discord.
The problem
what are you saying? You're saying that you want Mark Zuckerberg, or whatever the fuck Zuckerberg's name is.
Why don't you let me finish then?
Okay, I'll let you.
Okay? Instead of keep constantly interrupting, why don't you let me finish for a second?
I'll let you.
Right? My point is, if you're harassing individuals and making their lives miserable, they can take you down for that.
Who's they? Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
Who's they?
YouTube or Facebook or
some
Spotify
nameless, unaccountable person.
Yes, they can.
Okay, that is a intellectually lazy position.
No, it's
that
not.
I've debunked a million times here already.
So a platform cannot take down anyone for any reason without a hearing in a court of law?
You can throw someone in jail without a hearing. You mean you have to have a hearing every time you throw someone in jail? Every time you take someone's freedom of speech away?
I never said jail. Did I say jail? I say jail?
Okay, so
that's the false equivalency. Okay, that's total fucking bullshit, and you know it. Okay.
So you're saying free speech?
I'm not talking about free speech. I'm talking about the right to be on a platform. That is not free speech.
So you don't think that?
So that is not.
So you disagree with the idea of free speech?
No, I'm not. See, that's a straw man. Bullshit argument. That's a bullshit argument.
Let's talk about it.
So why don't you let me finish then?
Okay, I'll let you finish.
You keep interrupting me without letting me finish. So you are saying that YouTube can have, you can create a channel on YouTube under the guise of free speech and say whatever you want as long as you're not taken to court and the YouTube can't do anything about that?
Yes.
No, that is not the
Yes.
case. Live in the real world, Jimmy.
You mean the real world where we have censorship?
Yes, that's the world. That's the world, yeah. We do
I'm
have
fighting
censorship.
against
We
that.
have censorship because we need censorship. We do. Not for political speech, but for other kinds of speech. There was this whole group of creators on YouTube in the past. They were called the Reply Girls. Here's what they would do. They would go to one of the best performing YouTube videos, copy their titles and tags, then they put a camera on some girl's boobs and just have nonsense content and trick the algorithm into watching it. They got kicked off.
So you're cool with them taking Telesur down?
No, I'm not. I am not. That's not the same thing.
But
that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. You keep complaining. Look,
So
Jimmy,
you're endorsing that
your
process.
your job as a journalist is to parse out what's right and what's wrong, not throw a giant blanket over everything and create a false equivalency. Telesur being taken down is totally different than Alex Jones being taken down because he is harassing victims of Newtown and directing people to stop them.
Steve.
Okay? That's a totally different thing.
You're advocating for a dark system with no accountability.
No, I am not. No, I am not.
What's the accountability? You just said you just... Am I wrong, or did you just advocate for Mark Zuckerberg being able to do this on his own, or for Google or YouTube to be able to do this with?
They are allowed to have a process.
So you're advocating for in dark, in secret.
Are you saying that Alex Jones never had he had no idea that he's in trouble? How many warnings did he have? How many strikes did he get? And then they took him down.
So I'm talking about Telesur.
I agree with you on Telesur. I agree with you. They should not be taken
So
down.
there should be two different standards, though.
There should be multiple standards. Yes, there should be.
So you're arguing for double standards. You just did it.
No, there's one standard, and if you violate that, then you're out. If you don't violate it, then you're not out. What's so hard to understand? So you're saying...
What, you mean, well,
you were
who
saying,
says that you violated it?
So
who says?
So Alex Jones didn't do anything?
You said, no, there should be a
They have an internal process. Why is the court better than internal process?
You're a lawyer and you just said that?
Yes, why?
So why is an open court proceeding with an adversarial process?
Who's the adversary?
Now you're interrupting me. So you're saying that an adversarial judicial process with an impartial judge, which follows the law and the Constitution, is not any better than Mark Zuckerberg and
that is
Henry
totally
Kissinger
separate.
in secret deciding this shit?
Totally separate.
That's what you're saying?
It's totally separate.
And you're a lawyer. And you're a fucking lawyer.
I'm a
and
lawyer.
you're the head of a media company
I'm a
on
lawyer.
the internet. And
I'm a lawyer.
And so you disagree with Matt Taibbi?
No, I don't.
You are disagreeing with him.
No, I don't.
You are, and you're disagreeing with Chomsky.
I'm not.
And you're disagreeing with me.
No,
and
this
you're
is what you
disagreeing
always
with...
do, Jimmy. You throw a giant blanket.
Dude,
I disagree with
I'm fucking telling you exactly what you're telling.
I disagree with
There's
on
no
Alex
defending
Jones
what
part.
you're defending.
No,
You're defending a
No, I'm not.
opaque,
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're putting words in my mouth, and you're doing.
You're not defending that?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
So you.
We're done. We're done. Go to break or whatever. This is ridiculous.
And you did a joke that your grandparents told you. What do you think, Jeremiah?
Can I make a weird curveball suggestion?
Yeah.
We haven't had one female on this stage tonight. Can we pull a female name out of the bucket and replace this dude?
Let me ask you something, and don't just stop. Relax, everybody, relax. Now, we're going to move in order. Let me just ask this, and just yell if it's true. Did a lady sign up for this show tonight? Then in that case, I'm going to go through the bucket until we find a lady. Sound fair? Crooks probably isn't a female, right? Nope. What? Shut up. All right, here we go. Your final comedian of the night goes by the name of Bridget. Make some noise for Bridget Seibel, ladies and gentlemen. Closing out the show.
Man. So yeah, earlier in this podcast, I was the one that booed, so... You know, you gotta add a little sauce to it. So I just moved from Chicago after 5 years of living there, but I did grow up in Cleveland, so that's why I'm here. I escaped purgatory, and then I came back until I moved to Melbourne. But I'm drunk, so I have no idea what to say now, so this is a total mistake. I apologize on behalf of all the other females, all of none that apparently entered, because this entire...
I put my neck out for you!
This entire show!
Lock her up! Lock her up!
It was great to sit here for at least 5 white men to tell us things that weren't funny, and then... Oh.
Wait a second. Hold on.
What's your closer?
Stop.
Excuse me?
Stop. Okay. All right. Everybody stop doing things. Bridget, what would you just say about 5 white guys? What did you just say?
Just the fact that I got really drunk because I had to listen to 5 of them in a row. So I brought my drink back
I
up
see what
here.
you're saying. Bridget, first of all, let me, I know a lot of people think I'm going to be mean to her, but let me start by saying that is one of the funniest performances by a female comedian I've ever seen in my life. Bridget,
that's unfortunate.
you might be the drunkest person I've ever seen that has only taken a quarter of a sip of her drink before.
Yeah, it's about to spill over again. I actually spilled it when I was walking up here.
Wow. Have you ever done
Keep up the
stand-up
pace
before?
when you're walking up here.
Have you've done it before?
Oh, fuck no.
No. So this was your... Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been on a stage.
Jesus, shut up! That's my sister and my mom yelling at me, by the way. Fucking hell, guys. What do you think I'm gonna do? End it on this, you fucking idiots?
See, I think that's
Jesus
what lost them,
Christ.
is that I talked about being in purgatory because I'm back in Ohio after I moved out.
No. They hated you before that, and they hated you after that, Bridget. Don't blame it on the purgatory thing. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the lack of punchlines. Guys, shut the fuck up. Do you really think you're in control? Sort of are. I mean, I don't want it to end with you guys all angry and shit. Bridget, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're drunk and you're sort of an angry person.
Yes.
And for that reason, I'm gonna dismiss you. There she goes, Bridget Seibel. But in honor of you booing from the audience, why don't we all give her a good boo on our way back to her seat, huh? Brittany H. Here we go. This is gonna be your final comedian of the night. Is she coming? Is she? You guys ready to end this show or what?
Did not think I was gonna be up here tonight. Whoa. I'm off to a good start, right? Does someone know me out there? So going to the bathroom for women is a lot like going to war. And I say that because there's a lot of strategy involved. You have to evade your enemy, and you also have to complete your mission. So going to the bathroom, I'm talking about specifically at the work office. So for me, when I find out I have to go, I'm thinking, fuck, okay, how do I get to the bathroom and evade Linda in the hallway? Because Linda wants to talk. She wants to talk about the weekend. She wants to talk about how the fucking cat's doing. Did I give it the meds? And I'm thinking, Linda, I can't talk. I gotta go. And it's like, how do you casually say, I gotta go? So you're evading that conversations, then you get to the bathroom, and your next quest is like, okay, I'm in here. Was that really 60 seconds?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Tony,
Is it just me or does every woman feel like the world is against her, right? Is that really 60 seconds?
When you go to the bathroom, do you think, oh my God, are there other people here? Can I take a shit freely? Or are other people going to listen and judge?
Brittany,
who's roofing all the women in this audience?
This is like all males, so of course I'm going to be,
What is going on here?
Of course you're gonna be what?
Douchebags like you are probably going to be like, no.
Whoa!
Oh, dude,
wow.
everybody's coming against
I
you
just
tonight,
take
dude.
shits freely, yeah.
Brittany, I have no idea what's going on here. Is this your first time doing stand-up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I actually did this because my husband, he's out there, he wanted to come up. My name got picked. I'm just trying to show him you can fucking come up, do your thing.
Did he sign up?
Yeah, and I wish you'd come up here.
So
if
he
you'd give him
signed
time.
up,
And I
and to
did
show
too.
him, you took another spot in the bucket
Yeah.
with no preparation other than saying, you ever go to the bathroom? And
You're right. I said was
Am
valid
I right,
and
people?
true.
Oh, that's 60 seconds.
I mean, I'm not gonna spend 3 months studying for a 60-second spot.
It's not 30 seconds,
seconds.
60. And it doesn't seem like you spent 60 seconds studying for this 60 seconds
You're
spot.
absolutely right. You're right. I didn't even think my name was gonna get picked, but here I am.
Well,
Up here.
probably like many other times in your life, Brittany, you thought wrong. I'm gonna
That's
move along. I'm
valuable.
gonna move along from you. There she goes, Brittany H.
That's it?
That's it.
Good?
That's it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
You're too uninteresting.
Uninteresting. Wow.
Sorry, kiddo. It's okay. Just go. I'd like to apologize to Dylan McCarthy. I'd like to apologize to Gary Graham.
It's my responsibility as supervisor to make
Are you
those
hungry?
decisions.
Student government, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sarah, right?
There she is.
Yeah. Smile for the camera. This is an elected representative of student government. Doesn't understand civil discourse.
Stop trying to take my things.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you trying to assault me?
This is
This
literally
is assault.
a fuck you
yes,
to
Sarah!
survivors.
Fuck
No,
yes,
This is
Sarah!
a fuck you to survivors. A fuck you to every girl who's sexually assaulted on this campus.
They have a right to express their views. You need to step away. Leave your signs.
Are you serious?
I'm not trying to.
First Amendment
We
issue.
have policies on campus. You guys need to keep a barrier.
You're saying bullshit.
You can.
What about the people that have been sexually assaulted?
What about the safety of students on
Listen!
campus?
You guys can express your views. They can express your views. You
their
cannot
no proof of
assail them.
Do you even work in this
Okay?
campus?
I'm a dean of students.
Oh my God.
So I'm just saying, they have a right to their views. You have a right to your views.
Oh, okay.
You need to keep.
Register to vote.
You need to keep
Yeah,
your distance. You can.
Hey, you think his hat is a view? You think his hat is a view?
Listen.
That's a threat. That's a threat to minorities everywhere.
Listen.
White women continue to be complicit.
You can have whatever views you want. They can have views.
His fucking
But
views want my family deported. What the fuck you mean?
Listen, you cannot touch them. You cannot go
I'm not
in their
even touching
space.
them.
We're touching their signs that are hurtful.
Say what you want. They can say
Yeah, she
what
just
they
shoved
want.
him out of the way. I assaulted
Okay?
him.
But you cannot infringe on their right to express their views. You guys need to keep your distance.
Go ahead and protect violent voices on campus.
Speech isn't violence.
Nope.
Yes, it is. When your ideas are permeating laws that are hurting minorities and
Speech isn't
students who have
violence.
violated.
Assaulting students and ripping their signs up is violent.
The law is not a basis for morality.
Who else would like to discuss?
Yeah. We're open for civil discourse, guys. We do like to talk about things in a peaceful manner. We do value civil discourse.
Very mature right now.
Yeah, this is what
You think I
happens.
give a fuck about your views?
No.
You clearly do.
I honestly do enough to attack people.
Evidence for him not to be on the Supreme Court. There's a
What's the evidence?
A Supreme Court
An
justice
allegation,
who
an unfounded allegation, is that enough evidence for you?
There's multiple allegations. There's a New York Times
Unfounded.
article that was published yesterday about him being involved in
Is there concrete evidence for this claim?
Yeah,
though?
there's a police report.
So
Yes.
what we're saying is we don't want to get to a point in society where the judge and jury for allegations is just public perception. Oh, sure. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I hope,
It's not just public
How come
perception.
you guys are deciding he's not guilty? Are you not the judge and
So I
the
was-
jury right now?
Yeah, I was just talking to the Daily Text, and I said I hope that you do this investigation in full and find whatever evidence or lack thereof. But where we're at right now,
Right, but why
is he not supportive of an investigation? He doesn't want one.
we didn't.
He
do
won't
we have-
advocate for one.
Why are y'all
If
not
he
waiting
really
to take your
wanted
stand?
one, he would wait and ask.
Yeah, do we have a no? Do we have a no
It's
investigation
about
sign
what
out
they're
here?
saying.
I don't think we have a no investigation sign.
No, but what I'm saying is, why are y'all talking about an investigation and not being the judge and jury, then coming out here and saying he's not guilty before the investigation is over?
So we're pushing it back against where we're at in society right now, where a claim can be made, and suddenly everybody's like, okay, sure, we don't need to see any evidence. The unfortunate part about this claim is it was so long ago that it's a lot harder to prove these things. We want people to come forward.
Democrats are asking for evidence, though.
Well, the
We all want
investigation's taking
evidence.
place.
What is
You
the
should
point of
want
being out
evidence.
here? Like, can you explain to me your goals?
Yeah, so I just told
Why
you.
did
So we're,
every suspect say they had no memory of what
we're pushing back against the idea
Every
that
single suspect.
this man,
Every
an accusation would be waged against him, and without any
They
evidence,
don't-
corroboration of the story,
Then why don't your sign say Kavanaugh deserves a fair trial instead of Kavanaugh not guilty?
Every single person.
Kavanaugh's not guilty at this point. He's not guilty.
Not guilty.
Is an accusation enough to presume guilt?
That's why we need to look into it, but you can't make these statements at the moment that you know.
What Greek organization are you in? Please tell us.
So we do have the concept of innocence until proven guilty.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
It's very important.
You're fucking stupid. And like, I don't consent to being filmed.
It's a public space. I'm sorry.
No, I don't consent to
It is a public space. We can record. Everybody's recording right now. We're having a nice civil conversation, but
Yeah, well, I
for our
don't consent
safety.
to have my that video like posted anywhere. I don't consent to any
Well,
of that.
I'm just filming right now.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, just
Keep it in
filming.
your little like albums to look
All right.
at. But
Yeah, we just
I
filmed
don't
earlier the
consent to
people, ripping up our signs, screaming in our faces, assaulting us. The thing is, you and I are having a peaceful, relatively peaceful conversation right now. And
hello, my name is Jane. I'm social justice based. Agree with me